So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very, very important segment and episode 42 of Travel Updates with Oz India and Tanvi Goel. So, Tanvi, once again, welcome to the 42nd episode.
Thank you so much, Umesh. Thank you so much, everyone, once again for such an overwhelming response. Yes, it's 42 episode and really amazing to share all the news, all up-to-date information around the world and especially for Australia to India to Australia. So yes, here we are. So before we go ahead, just a little disclaimer. So any information we share today is general information only and up to date as of today. As you know, rules and regulations can change anytime. So please make sure you are updated with all the latest rules and regulations, and you can give us a call as well if you want to know, whenever you're ready to go as well.
Yes, and that is quite rightfully said that, please check all the updates. So that's a lot of news that we're going to go through today. Some good, some might not be as good, taking in account of what's happening, but what's in the best interest. So that, all the information that will be said on the show is current as of at this point in time. As we know, something could happen and all of a sudden things get changed. It could get a lot better. It could get worse. So who knows? So, we have to, at this point in time, it is quite historic times we're living in, where, we're living on a day-to-day basis. We just don't know what the next day will bring. So with that, because this is a segment on travel updates and the 42nd episode, quite exciting up to now. We have discussed so many things, and there have been some predictions which Tanvi made, and they've all come true. Like, this might happen like this way. So, it's all going very well there. So right now, we're moving on, under those, the current trying conditions, who can fly from Australia to India?
So first of all, guys, I want to tell you that if you are in lockdown, especially in Brisbane or in New South Wales somewhere, generally international flights are not affecting. So if you got any of those flights, Emirates or Qatar, and it's scheduled in next week or next couple of days, they all are doing well, happily. So please don't worry about that. Now, who can go from Australia to India? It's all Indian citizens on temporary visas, tourist visas. Everyone can go. There is no problem. Australian citizen and PR can also apply for exemption based on the reasons. Definitely, these days exemption is a little bit tough. You might get in 2 hours, or it may take 10 days. You might get in one go, or you might, have to apply maybe 10 times to not get it. So it's a little bit tough, but you can apply exemption. And if you have exemption, you are good to go from here. Guys, from Australia to India, I also want to tell you there are 2 main flights are going, just to give you a bit of idea. So only Emirates and Qatar are going from Australia to India. Emirates is going via Dubai and Qatar going via Doha. If you see any other flights online, please don't book them because those flights are not going mainly. These 2 flights are there. So I also want to announce you one thing about COVID test report. We have just came across recently that Qatar has said they want to accept only pathology reports, not like a normal, walk through reports or you go to the GP and get the letter. So I would really highly recommend you all to take the proper COVID test done for the travel dates, especially for travel, because in past I got hundreds of passengers even traveled in last couple of weeks taking just a normal COVID test and getting that letter done with GP. But with Qatar especially, they have mentioned they want to take only pathology lab. So if you booked any of the Qatar flights, please do that. In fact, for Emirates passengers as well, these days I would suggest to do COVID tests, which is done especially for travel. And make sure your name spellings are exactly correct on that, and also your date of birth is mentioned. You can check QR code I haven't heard that it's mandatory so far, but if on the travel COVID test report, if they have that, that's fantastic. So please keep that in mind. Now Emirates and Qatar, want to tell you difference as I always do every week. In case of Emirates, if you go, the Delhi sector got 4.5 hours halt option. Rest all the sectors got up to 16, 17, 22 hours halt option. Emirates is giving you lounge, free lounge option, and also free hotel if you got a student passport, because they have hotel outside only. And there is a paid hotel option as well in Dubai, where you can get a free check-in, early check-in for around 9 hours. So that's the main thing in Emirates. Qatar also got really amazing news this time. So Qatar got with the less halt option as well, not only for Delhi, but for Chennai, for Bangalore, many more sectors where the halt is just 6-7 hours, where it used to be 14 hours. So that's another good news. Though they don't give you lounge, you have to pay for lounge. Maybe on their website also I can't see pre-buy options. Sometimes they do, but probably you have to call them if you need the lounge. But definitely excellent news from Qatar as well, that you have 6-7 hours halt option as well for majority of cities. So please make sure when you book, you know that what's the difference between two airlines. And the price wise as well, you might find Qatar is a little bit $1,500 cheaper compared to Emirates, though not much difference, but just for you to understand. So yeah, pretty much we have flights from all main Australian airports to main Australian Indian cities as well. So flight wise, there is no problem Australia to India.
Sorry. So that is again very good news, and of course those rules and regulations and the difference between the two we have been discussing in the last couple of episodes, and again some of the things are worth mentioning over and over again. So right now, looking at all the situations as we have discussed in the last few episodes, that even though last time we were talking about Sydney or New South Wales, that even though the state is in a lockdown situation, but it still does not affect the planned and scheduled international flights. So they do take place. So taking that in mind, what are the options at this point in time from Brisbane?
So from Brisbane, we have Qatar and Emirates. Both are doing fine. So Emirates is pretty much every Fridays and Sundays. So you can take any of those. And Qatar is also there Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So pretty much you have pretty much every day you have flight from Brisbane right now, which is great. So Emirates flight is on 6th of August, 8th, 10th, and 13th of August. And Qatar flight is 6th, 7th, 10th, and 12th of August from Brisbane.
Okay, so there you go. We've got Brisbane covered now, as we were talking about Sydney before. So what are the flight options from Sydney?
So from Sydney as well, we have Emirates and Qatar both going. So Emirates going pretty much every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Qatar is going Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they are pretty much 4 days I can see here. So 5th of August, 7th, and 9th of August going Emirates, and 5th, 7th, 8th, and 10th is Qatar Airways this week.
Okay, so right now they're having Sydney covered and Brisbane. Now let's go down to Melbourne. So what are the flight options from Melbourne at this point in time?
So from Melbourne, we have Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. I generally like to tell you days because that's why you remember that these are the days it's going. So that's mainly for Emirates, and Qatar is also going, Mondays and Fridays and Sundays. So 6th, 7th, 11th, 13th is pretty much dates you have, in this week from Melbourne. So plenty of flights from Melbourne as well.
Okay, right now let's go to South Australia, look at Adelaide. So what are the options from Adelaide at this point in time?
Guys, I have a good news for you. We have been telling you for long that from Adelaide we had only 2 stops option. So this time we have 1 stop option as well. That's a good news. So Qatar got, 1 stop flight as well, and they are like 13-14 hours like usual. I got this week Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So 6th, 7th, 6th, 10th, and 13th of August this week. And if you still want to go 2 stops options with Emirates, that's still possible. That will be Friday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Same like Melbourne, we generally like to connect. So 6th, 11th, and 13th of August. But yes, 1 stop flight is also available from Adelaide. So that's a great news.
So that is good news, that there's a 1-stop flight one as well. Just for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, which would be beneficial, 1 or 2 stop ones?
1 stop.
1 stop was always better. Yes, you just go there, get it done with. Yes. Well, right now, we know that Adelaide now has 1 stop option as well. What about moving to Western Australia and Perth? What are the options from there?
So from Perth, we have 4-5 flights a week as well. So Qatar and Emirates, both options are there, and sometimes quite cheap as well. I saw a couple of weeks back, it was just 999, the fare from Perth. But yeah, generally it's pretty much same from all cities in Australia, but sometimes really crazy for fares from Perth as well. So we got flight Mondays, Fridays and Saturdays. They are Qatar flights, and Emirates is Thursdays and Sundays. So 6th, 8th, 9th, 13th and 15th of August, we got plenty of flights from Perth as well.
So there you go. That's good news from the Western Australia as well, from Perth as well. Well, okay, right now when we look at all the updates and some of the things that are happening because of the lockdown and the quarantine situations here, even in Australia. So any update from people who are still stuck, or students stuck, or people wishing to come from India to Australia?
So India to Australia, guys, is a little bit tough as well at this stage. So I would say just stay tuned. Those who are especially, coming with family 3, 4 and 5, I would say maybe it's good for you to be in touch with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, because generally air bubble flights or charter flights, they are pretty much really very costly. Business class close to $7,000, which is really a big deal. But yes, these flights are coming. For your update, Japan Airlines are increasing more flights from September. So I think they got from Delhi every Monday, Wednesdays and Saturdays, while it used to be only Wednesdays, if you remember, I told you before as well. From Bangalore, it used to be only on Saturdays. From Delhi, it used to be always on Wednesdays. But from September, they're increasing more flights from Delhi, so that's the good news. There are some last-minute Japan Airlines flights coming every now and then. So pretty much every Sundays or Mondays, you can see there is some cancellations of flights coming, so which you can opt, but you literally have just few minutes to opt those flights. And generally, their fares are starting from $6,500 up to $7,000. These are the business class. If you can't take that, there are some charter options also available in market. Right now, I can see some dates and Mondays in August. So 23rd and 30th August options is there. But remember, as I always mention, whenever there is a charter segment involved in any of those flight becomes completely non-changeable and non-refundable. So you book those flights only if you're 100% sure that you're not going to change your plan and COVID is not going to affect you. So generally, I always ask, if you are vaccinated, got 2 jabs and you are well, then only you book charter. Otherwise, maybe you wait for defect flights, or you can go in any of the, air bubble flight. You can try Japan. I have one more announcement for you guys, which I just heard yesterday was Japan Airlines might increase their price. It may go up to double the price. So right now, the normal price, maybe normal economy flight, we're talking about $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and business class around $6,000, $7,000. They might go double as well. So you have chance today till tomorrow on 6th of August. So if you are thinking and you have any option in hand, best to book it fast as possible, because then fares might go crazy as well. So, and please, if you've not registered yourself with DFAT, please do so, because they have quite a few flights, and as you know, they are invite-only flights. So if they contact you or they email you, make sure you don't miss that and book that immediately, because air bubble and other options are really quite very, very limited right now. So these are main flights, and I would really like to request all the students and temporary residents out there as well, please keep checking all the groups, join those groups so you are updated what exactly happening. To all the students, once again, I want to remind you, please register yourself with Indian High Commission Canberra so they know that you are there. Please keep in touch with the university and check their plan when they're planning to rescue you. And I even recently heard from many students that they have recently got the admission done. They are paying their fees as well. So I would really like to request you, please check with the university first before you, think that university is giving you letters and you're going to get the admission, you're going to get the examination to come here. It's not true. If they are giving you admission, it's your duty to check with them whether they have any plan to bring you there, or you have to do it off campus or online classes. So please, before you give any money, before you, go further, because they all are really very costly things, please check that as well. And don't forget to register yourself with Indian High Commission.
Yeah, and it is very, very important to get that registration. As you mentioned, it is such a vital step, and especially in times like this, you just can't risk it. Okay, so having that covered, any updates from and the students coming. So and we have also looked at who can fly. and all the documents. So, what about nationally now that we are in a lockdown sort of situations and everything like that? So, what are the options and what are some exciting things that can be done nationally?
Okay, so nationally, guys, really not many news. And I would say if you are, whichever state you are, definitely Victoria, South Australia, people are lucky, and I heard there are not really many cases. In fact, I just read someone got really zero over there. So you can go in your own state, but please take the flexible options. You can go on our website as well to check the local options if you are not in lockdown. And those who are in Queensland and New South Wales, best to just be at your home. And other things are, I just read that, in fact, last week I told you guys that Australia is planning some digital certificates as well, and we got further update on that Service Australia has enhanced its digital offerings, adding the ability of COVID-19 digital certificate to be loaded, like we said, in Apple Wallet, and this time they are thinking to put in Google Pay, smartphones, and different platforms as well. So they are basically adding a lot more platforms, doesn't matter which device you're using, so you can still take advantage of that. And they also said those who are not eligible for Medicare can also get the proof of vaccinations through the individual healthcare identifier service. Been on MyGov and maybe on one of these digital certificates. But yeah, if you have done your vaccinations, please don't forget to take your certificate. Sometime it may take a couple of weeks as well. So please plan your journey if you are flying internationally or something according to once you get the certificate. So we might really get a lot more updates about how they're going to do the digital certificates and how we're going to get it. But yeah, definitely exciting news that they are adding, a lot more things and features in that. Next is from Virgin Australia. So Virgin Australia Velocity frequent flyer members are now able to earn double points again. So like we always mention, Qantas is coming with some double points option and excite you to really travel locally. And Virgin Australia again came up with another offer where they're saying yes, you can earn double points and credits for all eligible booking from today itself till 10th of August, just for a few days, and they're excited to provide this fantastic opportunity to all the members. So please book in next few days if you're really a big lover of getting these points. I know there are many people who keeps asking me where should I use my points and where are the option, and that's why we keep always telling you that yes, this is a place where you can get the points. In fact, I saw if you take a bank loan, and they're giving you option to earn the Qantas points and Virgin Australia points. So if you are point lover, you might check with your bank as well whether in one of their products you can get the points. So yes, that's really good news as well. Next is from Tasmania. So Tasmania Walking Company has launched a new Walk for Wild for the fundraising event series in partnership with the World Wildlife Fund. So Walk for Wild is an exciting opportunity for people to enjoy the health and well-being benefits in walking in Australia, remote wilderness areas. And the best thing is if you buy any of those packages, and you are not only walking and making your health better, but the full price of that particular ticket is also going to contribute for incredible conservation efforts, which will be definitely helpful for the economy and for definitely for everyone. So please do check that. That will be exciting. Other than that, really not much to be done, except we all have to be safe while in Australia, and there should be more news coming up next week as well. We see.
Yes, you've rightfully said there. At this point in time, the best advice that anyone can give is, if possible, stay put. But if you really want to go, there are some options, and I know that the Virgin double points. I think it's for the next few days, but I think you can travel till 2022. But the point is that you need to book now. Well, that's a good point. And the Tassie work. Oh, I know. I love walking, so maybe something I haven't been down there yet. I've been all around the world, but not to Tassie yet. Okay, so moving on. So these are some of the things that are on nationally, and I know even under these trying conditions, there are some options which you can explore. Right now, if you were to go overseas, what would be the updates for international flights?
So international flights, as we discussed for Australia, India, they are doing fine, all the repatriation flights. And I know there are many still wants to know what's happening to the New Zealand. So trust me in bubble guys still on pause for at least another 5-6 weeks. We'll be closely looking at what's happening to that and keep updating you guys. We have seen for other destinations they are planning to open very soon, but Australia is definitely on pause for next 5-6 weeks. Next is from Qantas. So the Qantas Airways has cancelled the flight for Norfolk Island flights from Brisbane and Sydney at least up to 29th of August. So travelers are permitted to rebook all the flights from Qantas. So if you have booked any of those flights, please make sure you change your dates because till 29th of August, there is no flight. So far, if you want, you can keep yourself the credit as well, or if you want, you can apply for the refund. And they have a lot of reissues options and policies. This is really very flexible. So yeah, you have all sort of options. Please reconsider if it's not important for you to go, I would say. Next is from British Airways. So British Airways has reopened its lounge areas for GFK Terminal 7 after really a very long 16 months closure due to COVID-19 pandemic. So opening of the galleries, club lounge signals the next step in airlines lounge reopening plan. And they're going to open it for the travelers in the first class, club board members, able to access all the lounges ahead of the flight in the London Heathrow. So that's really great news because we know, the lounge is really, required these days because majority of flights are really going with long haul. And sometime at airport also, you have to stand in long queue to for a lot more things. So yeah, that's really good news as well. Though we can't go over there, but definitely those who are flying are coming. Good news that you have a Heathrow lounges open over there. Next is the air travel demand. Basically, just want to tell you what's exactly happening here for the Asia Pacific Airlines. So got a recent update from them saying, the Asia Pacific, it's still, there's a lot of suppression in terms of flights and figures they have released as well, which is by the Association of Asia Pacific Airlines, ongoing tighter border restrictions and are basically blamed for that not many international passengers going. But I think it's pretty much, understandable that considering the situation in COVID-19, it's really important that everyone is safe wherever we are. But yes, they recently mentioned that there isn't really nothing much happening and you might not see many flights from Asia Pacific Airlines. Next is from Virgin Atlantic. So they have announced a new code share agreement with the Middle East Airlines Air Liban with the VS code placed in MEA flights to Boston, New York, JFK, and Los Angeles, and linking to all the VS flights from London. So yeah, those who are flying on those destinations, you might see there are a lot more flights with the VS code, and yeah, definitely better fare as well. Next is from Etihad Airways. So, and this particular news is related to IATA Pass. If you remember, I think it's pretty much quite a few months. We generally like to tell you what's exactly happening with IATA Pass, and the news is related to that. So Etihad Airways has extended its IATA Travel Pass trial on flights from Abu Dhabi with 7 new destinations joining the pilot. The airline's guests now can see the digital travel restrictions verification system, to services to Bangkok, Barcelona, Madrid, Milan, New York, Singapore, and a lot more places. The feedback from IATA Travel Pass trial has been very, very positive, with Etihad guests appreciating ease of use and data security, and really being appreciated by many people. And as I mentioned many times before, that majority of airlines are trying to put the trial in different countries are involving in that, which is really great news as well. So definitely fantastic that there are 7 more destinations added for the trial, which means whichever destination we fly, we will have that option. Next is from Delta Airlines. So Delta Airline will add more than 1,000 seats to Canada, biggest market from September, representing around 150% increase in capacity on previous volumes. Canada recently confirmed and it will reopen fully vaccinated US travelers from 9th of August. That means just in a few days. So definitely great news for those who are flying with the US and Canada, that there'll be a lot more flights, a lot more options, but yes, only for fully vaccinated people. So once again, if you're not vaccinated, make sure you get both the jabs. and be ready, because you never know, even though in certain countries it's not 100%, it's not compulsory that you should be vaccinated, but you never know, the rules changes and they don't let you go. So yes, it's very, very important right now. I have got another news from Virgin Atlantic. They have also announced that it will deploy its new flagship Airbus, which is A350 1000 XWP aircraft to the London Heathrow Hong Kong route as well, and that is starting from next month. The state-of-art planes will operate daily between those cities from 2nd of September, featuring in-seat on-demand ordering for upper-class passengers. And yeah, they're going to start from 2nd of September. That's amazing news as well, between London, Heathrow to Hong Kong. Got one more news from Qatar Airways. I think that's really important as well. So Qatar Airways has announced an expanded partnership with African carrier called Rwan Air in the form an extensive interline agreement, which builds on recently launched loyalty scheme program. So combined network of both carriers linked to over 160 destinations via their respective Doha and other hubs. So when you fly in future with Qatar Airways and to the African cities, you might see there are so many connections, so many options you would have. And yes, in all this, all I can say that all the airlines, airports, countries, cities, they all are trying their best that we all can up in the fly and with full safety and vaccinated and all good to go. So really, these are the main news mainstream internationally at this stage.
Well, once again, there's quite a lots of options that have been covered there. When we talk about all those destinations, my eyes goes, yes, it's been a while. Cities like Boston and, So it's wonderful to see that this last one that you said, the Rwanda Air deal with Qatar Air, it is quite good to see these, African carriers coming on board as well, because you don't hear a lot about them. All the big ones and the major ones are always in the news and they get mentioned. Well, right now, if people are, if anyone's in a position to take up any of these options and travel options, if they're traveling, or generally at this point in time, what would be your travel tips?
First of all, guys, I would once again remind you, please check always your latest rules and regulations that whichever destination you fly. I always mention everyone, doesn't matter which flight you're taking, please keep checking your flight a day before and just before leaving home, because sometime, the time may change. Though I have not seen a single flight time change, especially if I talk about Emirates or Qatar in last few months, that they depart 9 or 10 p.m. But in case of, if you have any domestic connection associated with your international flight, or if you're taking any domestic flight, please make sure you do a web check-in. That's very, very important, especially for Indian flights. It's mandatory for some of the flights. I know for Vistara in India, they want you to do, web check-in. It's very, very important. Once again, for the COVID test, I want to remind you, make sure you do it at the proper laboratory and labs, and do at one, which is required mainly for travel, because as I mentioned, Qatar really want people to do that, and it might be the same case for Emirates as well. Though so far people are still going for the normal test, but best to do it the one which is required for travel. And don't please get confused that the COVID test from Australia to India is always 72 hours before international flight. And there are time calculated, that time your flight is departing from Australia and the time you're giving your sample. So don't get confused where how much time you are in Dubai or how much time in Doha, or what time you're reaching India. It doesn't matter. It's just 72 hours before international flight. And if you're coming from India to Australia, it's always 48 hours before international flight. So don't get confused. I have actually all the checklists with me as well. If you require, you can always ping me. So I got separate checklists from Australia to India, from India to Australia. Checklist, what you need to do when you apply exemption from Australia to India, India to Australia. There are so many different things which you need to understand. And very, very important tip I would give you guys, please don't believe what your friend has done a couple of months back, what social media is telling you, like people have different experiences. Please always check that situation might change anytime, and it may be different for your flight you are flying. Just please make sure that you have all up-to-date information for your flight, just not believing what someone else has done. And also would really request you all, please join our WhatsApp, this Facebook groups. So if you're stuck in India, the Australian Stuck India Facebook group is there, Indian Stuck in India, Indian Stuck in Australia. We have a students group separately, temporary resident group separately, where you can keep sharing, your information, your experiences, and other people will get benefit, and you can put up your questions as well. So once again, these are basically main things. And one more thing I want to tell you, please don't forget to take some cash with you when you're flying to India. Like recently, last week also, I heard it is at least 3-4 people were stopped to take a COVID test. Generally, they ask you to give you 800 rupees, Indian rupees, and give the sample, and then you can leave. But if you don't have some currency with you, it can be problematic as well. So please keep that in mind and fill all the required forms before you leave. And please, if you like this episode, share with your family and friends. You can find this on Chantix Media, Australian Indian Radio, Brisbane Indian Times, on our page as well as India Travel, all the social media platforms. We have 41 more episodes as well, which you can go through and see, how the sequence was going in last 9-10 months. Please, you can share the link on WhatsApp as well to your friends, and please tag them so they know exactly what's happening. And if you have any question in mind, you can always mention to us, and you can contact us on our hotline, which is 04044033264. You can jump on our website, www.ausindiatravel.com.au. You can write me on Facebook as well. I'm pretty much there checking and, responding on all the Facebook groups all the time. And we have a specific WhatsApp groups as well for your categories. If you need, I can send you a link. So please, don't feel yourself alone. We are all in this together. And I'm really want to tell you all, doesn't matter you book with us or not, I'm there with you. My team is there with you to answer any of your questions. And we can send you a checklist and help you. So I always say, from the time you leave your home in Australia and by the time you come back to Australia, even after quarantine, back to your home, I'll be in touch with you and make sure you are safe and you get all the updates as well. So please stay safe and healthy, and let us know we can help you any way possible. Thank you.
And that is once again another wonderful service there. That offer of help and assistance, whether you're booked or not, that is from the kindness and the goodness of our heart, telling that, even if you haven't booked, you can still get that information, which is vital. And, that is quite a good service that, from the time they leave to the time they've actually come back, that you are there with them throughout for any information. That is very nice. Because many times, people come and, you've done your deal and that's it. Off you go, mate. We'll see you later. No. So this is the quality, follow-up service as well, which is very good. And as we can see from the testimonials, so they're very good. And of course, I'll vouch for you that, she is always there on Facebook. If you send a message, she will return. I don't know how she managed to do that, but she does. If I always get a bad point about me, is not returning, or someone send some message, WhatsApp or Messenger or things like that, hard for me. It's challenging for me to respond to all, but she is very good. She will respond, especially if you are in those groups, the students and the people traveling on there. So once again, Tanvi, thank you so much for being on the show, and even in these trying times, putting out all this information, which is of a lot of value to many people who might not know. And some of the things that you have mentioned about the COVID test, say it is time sensitive, that it needs to be within the time limit that we have specified, and that it needs to be that credible source, the pathology labs as well, and not just a roadside one. These things are very important, because otherwise someone could just go get a certificate and say, I've got the certificate, and risk going all the way there. First of all, it's hard to get on those flights. You've made it, but just because of your certificate that you didn't have properly, you could be, offloaded. So, it is very important to follow those rules. So once again, Tanvi, thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 42nd episode of Travel Updates with Oz India Travel, and presented by Tanvi Goel. Thank you so much, Tanvi.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care, stay healthy and safe, and Jai Bharat, Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you.